This is a Hope 1032 podcast.
Hi, I'm Heidi Wiseman. You're listening to Hopeful Reflections with Heidi, where I reflect on biblical principles to anchor you deeper in hope. I pray this message will encourage and inspire you. Did you know that God can use conflict to further the spread of the gospel? Dividing and multiplying are frequently involved in God's redemptive plan. Let me read you a story about Paul and Barnabas beginning in Acts chapter 15. Sometime later, Paul said to Barnabas, "Let us go back and visit the believers in all the towns where we preached the word of the Lord and see how they are doing." Barnabas wanted to take John, also called Mark, with them. But Paul did not think it was wise to take him because he had deserted them in Pamphylia and had not continued with them in the work. They had such a sharp disagreement that they parted company. Barnabas took Mark and sailed for Cyprus, but Paul chose Silas and left. Commended by the believers to the grace of the Lord, he went through Syria and Cilicia, strengthening the churches. After John Mark left and returned to Jerusalem, tension arose between Paul and Barnabas. When it came time for another ministry trip, Barnabas wanted to give John Mark a second chance, but Paul didn't think it was wise. Even though in our human hearts we might have hoped Paul and Barnabas had resolved their differences and reassembled the original team, God utilized the separation for his kingdom purposes. God used the split to actually spread the gospel even further. While God always desires reconciliation between ministry partners, colleagues, and friends, sometimes a change in direction is often the best way forwards. Paul and Barnabas split into two different teams, and both teams were used by God. In terms of personal opinion and practical procedures, Paul and Barnabas may have appeared to have been divided, but they were united in what is truly important: the doctrine and spreading the gospel to the world. Incidentally, in 60 AD, when Paul was in prison in Caesarea, he ended his letter to the church in Colossae, "My fellow prisoner, Aristarchus, sends you his greetings, as does Mark, the cousin of Barnabas." Paul had reconciled with Mark. Our Lord has given us the ministry of reconciliation, and he will use every part of our lives for our good and the advancement of his kingdom. I pray this encourages you in whatever season you are walking in. We serve a mighty, all-knowing God who works all things together for good. Be blessed. Bye. Thank you for listening to Hopeful Reflections with Heidi. I'd love you to subscribe to Hopeful Reflections with Heidi on your favourite podcasting app so you can get more faith-filled and inspiring messages of hope. Also, I'd love you to check out my website, hopewithheidi.com, for the video version of this podcast and other hope-filled content.